the major part is not dropout. The major part is me convincing my parents. That's the first part. So yes, AI here to take your job. At the same time, you need to understand: have you built enough credibility that anyone who is not letting you do that would back off if you can show the results? And I showed them the results, and they were like, "Cool, you can go for that." Right? My take is, if you have a pure gut feeling that yes, I can pull this off, please go ahead. Do not think.
So today's episode is the first time when we went offline, and मैं हमेशा चाहती थी कि हम जब भी on location shoot करें, तो the guest has to be someone very impactful. Today's guest is Mr. Himanshu Agrawal, a young entrepreneur who is making waves on social media for all the correct reasons. First, he is just 24. Second, he is impacting lives of people of all age groups by teaching them business skills. Third, he has already booked a private jet for himself. Isn't that wow? And lastly, he himself is a college dropout. Sounds confusing and interesting both, right? Well, all I have to say is watch this episode till the end, because there are a lot of key takeaways for you in this one. From money-making skills to AI taking over jobs all over the world, to him not advocating youngsters to drop out, I think there is everything for everyone in this episode. Watch out. Ladies and gentlemen, Himanshu Agrawal for you. So Himanshu, we really want to know, I'm sure my audience would also love to know, that what has been floating the stories about you, that you started entrepreneurship at such an early age of 19, and you're a college dropout and all that. Like, what was your real thought process behind dropping out? And was this really something which you always wanted to do?
So I think in this case, I have not started working at the age of 19. But I've been working from 9th class, which is age of 14 or 15, right? So I was not working that time. I was going to school, but also doing some part-time side hustles kind of things. And from that side, the journey starts. And at 19, I was pretty serious about business. And I knew that business is something that I want to go for full-fledged, right? And at 19, I stopped all my corporate things and everything. And I went full-fledged in business. And that is when the main ingredient of entrepreneurship or element of entrepreneurship started to develop inside me, right? So yeah, I'm doing from 9th class, 14, 15 age. 19, I kind of picked up and I was like, no more side hustles. I will do proper business. And today we are at 24 now, just last month.
There have been a lot of stories floating about you online in the market, if you say it correctly, that you actually started off when you were 90, right? And that's like a blind risk, like a blind gamble, which you must have taken back then. So what was your core thought process behind dropping out, right? Because dropping out is not very, very fantasized in the Indian society, at least as of now. It might be in the next 10, 12 years, but as of now, it's not. So what would you like to say about, and we would really like to know about your journey, that why and how.
In that case, I would say that, when I'm dropout, when I'm saying that I'm a dropout, I'm spreading a negative notion in the society. And I'm a dropout. But the major part is not dropout. The major part is me convincing my parents. That's the first part. And the second part is the parents also accepting that credibility that I've built over the years to do which let me drop out, right? Yeah, I dropped out. Yes, I left my college. I did everything like that. But the more important part is my parents were convinced and said yes for that. Is because from past 4 years or 3 years I was building up. I had a savings account. I was putting money in that. And when I was planning to drop out, I showed them that I have something that I've built. I've built an app. I have this money. I have an angel investor who's ready to pay me money to run this app, and then multiple things. And when they see this kind of work, I don't think any parent would say no to you. And yes, parents are creating a protective film around you to save you. They're not wrong at their place. I understand where they come from. But at the same time, you need to understand, have you built enough credibility that anyone who is not letting you do that would back off if you can show the results? And I showed them the results and they were like, cool, you can go for that, right? And I don't come from a very rich family, they can take care of me or something. I come from a normal middle class family. But they were okay with that, right? So the reason they were okay is only because I built up the credibility. The second part of question you asked was, since it is not fantasized in Indian society, what is my take on that? My take is, If you have a pure gut feeling that yes, I can pull this off, please go ahead. Do not think. Why? Because when you're young, you can take a few hits, right? Before 25, I think easily anyone can take 3-4 big hits. Not a big deal, and still life would be normal with that, right? So, and the second part is, I don't think companies are right now looking to hire people based on degrees, but skills more.
Yes.
If you come into my company, I have hired MBAs, I have hired IITians, but 3 months and they were off, 4 months and they were off.
Yeah.
Rather, I have 17-year-olds who are making 8.5 lakh rupees a month in my company.
Yeah.
Right? They're getting a salary of 1.5 lakh rupees a month.
Yeah.
Though they're 70, right? But the simple reason is they have the skill which it takes to make that much of money.
Yeah.
Even IITians and IIMs and MBAs also don't have that. So it's not about the degrees anymore, I think. It's more of the skills. And I don't look at resumes before hiring someone. I just look at what are the past work you have done and what can you contribute right now. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. What you have said is also correct. Even I look at skills whenever I have to hire somebody. And I think most of the companies after COVID, they have started hiring based on skills. Yes, that is correct. But what I also look at is ambitious. You know, how ambitious is that person? If the person is not ambitious, if the person doesn't have that drive, then maybe it might be a little off for me. Is that the same case with you as well?
Yes, because when I'm looking to hire someone and I'm looking at their skills, if someone has developed that level of skill set, that clearly shows me that the person is ready to put that much of work. Obviously, that may not be the case in future. And for that, we have simply some number of tests that we do online to see how much hunger you have, how much ambition you have for that particular thing to grow forward. Secondly, what is your personal aspiration and what is my company's aspiration? Are they meeting in the long term, right? So if my company's vision is to make India a $5 trillion economy, or to make X number of revenue, or to hire X number of people, are you aligned with that? If not, maybe we are not the right fit for you. We are not rejecting you, but we are not the right fit, right? You are a very amazing person, but we are not right fit for you. But yes, if you see that 5-year, 10-year, you can play a bigger game, you can nurture the skill to a deeper level. You have already set the courses you want to go for. You have already set the people you want around you. You have already set whom you want to network in the industry with. I'm ready to help you with that. But the case is, are you hungry enough to prove me that you're worth it? And if you're worth it, I'm ready to put everything on the line.
Okay, so speaking about ambitions, right? So like attracts like. It is everywhere, right? So has your ambition always been to be an entrepreneur, or what was your thought process like before you started earning? Like at such a young age, right? You mentioned that you started earning when you were 9, when you were in 9th standard, right? ये ऐसी एज होती है जहाँ पर बहुत बच्चों को ये पता तक नहीं होता है कि अगले साल क्या करना है, अगले दिन क्या करना है. And you had your maybe probably entire life planned ahead, or how was it for you back then?
So I would say that is more towards the struggle that I've seen in my life, due to which I started this thing at 9th class. If I would have been from a well-off family, or I didn't have those much worries, as you say, I would be still the normal kid that you see who would be going to a college right now, doing the MBA right now, right? But I had these circumstances back then, due to which I jumped into entrepreneurship. I didn't understood entrepreneurship or business, these terms. I can put in words right now, but that time I didn't understand anything like that. I was like, I just want to make money. Let me see what is possible. So I got my friend Soumya. He was a photographer. He had a camera, but he was not getting orders. I went out. I used to sell the thing. We used to get the order together, spend the money at the end, right? So that is how the entrepreneur part started out. And later I understood, oh, this called is business. Oh, this called is startup. Oh, this called is entrepreneurship. Oh, there's a whole subject on entrepreneurship. Oh, there have been entrepreneurs like me who were from school and then in college and then in their companies and whatever. So it's like, oh, now I'm getting the context behind all of this. And I started reading books around it, and I started doing multiple researches about it. And then where it landed as a proper entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur who builds companies after companies.
Yeah. So when we talk about entrepreneurship, okay, like you mentioned that you learned in the process, you dived into it first, you learned, you educated yourself. So it won't be wrong to, segregate you and the others, as you didn't go for a formal education, which everybody goes. You did not follow the sheep factor, right? But there are people who want to follow like a proper formal education. पूरा हमको graduation करना है, masters करना है, और फिर उसके बाद देखेंगे, सोचेंगे ये जमा तो ठीक है, नहीं है, क्या है, right? So what I know is that you are a big advocate of education, but in an informal way. right? Which has probably worked for you. But there are people who are still scared to take that route, right? There are still so many youngsters. I should say maybe the Gen Z also, which we call, they're not scared, but they're sitting there and contemplating कि क्या करूँ, क्या नहीं करूँ, right? आपने बोला क्योंकि you built certain credibility and then you went to your parents and all, right? But how does a young person who is probably in 10th standard right now, or probably who has just completed his graduation, how do you think that he should take these two routes in their journey of life?
So the problem with this statement is that you have taken Himanshu Agrawal, age 24, doing this much.
Yeah.
The age factor brings up this question, right? If you remove this age factor, it's like Himanshu Agrawal, multiple companies. Now it's not any more exciting, right? The age factor makes it exciting. Plus, people want to watch it now because the age factor has come in place.
Yeah.
I would say take Himanshu Agrawal as a normal guy, remove the age factor and now listen to it. And then you get better advices, right? Why I took that route is because I didn't have any other option. My father had already took a loan of 12 lakhs for my education, right? I cannot go for an MBA now and then a BCA right now and then MBA after that and then a PhD. I cannot do that because I don't have the resources for it, right? If I want to study abroad, that's not possible for me. I cannot go for a very, very high tier college because my parents don't have the money, right? So even if I'm a bright child, I'll not get that much because I don't have the resources, right? My parents have already spent a lot of money. So that was a route for me I chose, right? So remove the age factor for me because I think I got lucky and unlucky at the same time, due to which I got over here where I am. The second part is there's nothing called as NEET, right? So if you start entrepreneurship at the age of 35, there's no problem. Imagine this. Zuckerberg started at the age of 19, 20.
Yeah.
Built Facebook, big empire, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos started at the age of 32. Richer than him. At a bigger company than him, right? So it's like, it's not the age that plays matter. It's like, when you plan to start out, are you becoming the best faster than anyone? That's what the question you need to ask. Not when I'm starting, but whenever I'll start, am I putting my best or not? So when I started the 9th class, I was putting my best, what I knew, right? And today, where we are, right? But a kid who would be younger than me, worked even faster, worked even better, and they would have a kid who was 21 and making more money than.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not the competition that you're looking for, that kaun kitna jaldi kar paya. But what you're looking at is, have I given my best when I chose for this career? So it's totally fine that you go the corporate road, right? You do some jobs, you understand how this world works, you have a safety net, and then you go for it. That's totally fine. Nobody's pressurizing you. Only this podcast where the age is mentioned is pressurizing you. Those Instagram pages are pressurizing you, right? So there's no pressure. I've done it at a young age, that's fine. Maybe you can win when you start at 32, and maybe when I become 35, you beat me, right? I would be love to see that.
Yeah.
How do you do that in 3 years? So there's learning everywhere. It's just that, just remove the age factor, you'll become much more calmer and you'll be off pressure to make better decisions in life.
When we were talking about ambitions and education, right? Like I was mentioning that our ambitions and parents' के dreams कभी align नहीं होते हैं together, right? And it takes a hell lot of time to convince parents. You said, okay, we need to first build a credibility and, and then go and convince parents and all that. But do you think that there can be a common, a bridge where we can fill these two gaps?
Let's think like this. What they want, a good life for you. Like, you're financially well, your relationship-wise well. They just want a good life for you, right? They actually don't care about the vehicle if you have figured it out, right? It's same like love marriage and arranged marriage, right? So it's like, if you have found a girl that they also like, love marriage, no problem, nobody, right? Yeah. But if you can't find someone, but you are showcasing, hey, here's my woman, here's another. But they can continuously see that your choices are bad. They would not really do a love marriage, no matter what the case, right? It's same like that scenario.
Yeah.
Same with dreams, right?
Yeah.
When you're going with your dreams and you're showing your work, are they impressed by it? Do the same and be like, wow. And if not, that is not the case, that means you're not practicing love. That means you're not putting the hours and the work and you're not putting your head down. So get to the practice, get to that zone, hustle, and keep that vision of making yourself the best at it. If they go wow, they'll let you do your thing. If they don't go wow, then they'll choose a better form of vehicle for you to reach that protective life or that good life that you're looking for, right? And then you need to accept because you tried your best and it did not work out. So accept their way now, right? Because they have seen life more than you. So accept their way. But if you showcase like in 3-4 years, like if you're in 12th right now, if you showcase in like your first college years or whatever, and they're impressed, then let you do your thing. I've seen like multiple cases where the person was like, my parents are against me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, put 1 year into this thing and do not come to me before that. They put 1 year, became good at sales, right? Well, they're working in my company, they're having a salary of 1.5 lakhs, their age is 19, right? When they go to their parents are super happy. Their fathers call me and be like, Himanshu, how are you doing? How's it? Is my son can do something else? Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we are giving him more opportunities, everything like that, right? And they're super happy about it, right? They are not pressuring for the college, they're not pressuring for exams, they're not pressuring for anything. Because they can see that my kid can earn more than me at the age of 19. There's so much potential. So they let him flow. Right? My daughter can do this much more better than me, so they let them flow. But if you can prove that to them, then yeah, you need to follow their path. And
So, the problem with our generation and with parents' generation is that maybe they have tried certain things and they have failed, okay? But what I also personally believe is that once a person is ambitious, he becomes eventually visionary, right? Like, I'm sure you have also studied a lot of minds of billionaires or all the wealthiest people on this planet, but they have a certain kind of vision to their life, and their vision is not just restricted to only their life. They see other people also in it, right? So do you believe that every ambitious person is a visionary, and that is also something which lags in our parents' generation and which lags in our formal education as well?
so I think it's a contemplating loop. Vision also creates ambition, and ambition also creates visionaries, and that's why ambition is an infinite loop.
Yes.
So if your target is 1 crore, then 10 crores, then 100 crores, and 1,000 crores, and the reason that happens is because, let's say you got an ambition of, I will improve my life, and you start hitting the gym. Then that creates a vision of, I need a body like this, which creates more ambition of, now I have to work harder to get this body. And then like, now I got the body, I want that super car as well with me. And now you start working for the money. It just keeps on rotating like this, right? And you keep on looking for new things, better things, and you keep on evolving your ambition, right? So both are contemplating things, and both create a intersectional loop between them, which keeps on feeding each other, right, continuously. So it's a feedback loop to each other. Right? That's the first part. Second, let's talk about the parent side. If you go in their side, we have seen a continuous evolution that has happened. The first was proper slaves, right? They were treated as slaves.
Yeah.
Then those slaves were like, we have just made enough that we can survive and you can eat. And that were our parents side now. And then our parents are like, we need to build a good life. And they did their best. They did their job. They did their everything to give us a good car, a AC, a good room, everything like
Yes.
that. And now we got that. That's not anymore about I have a car or not, I have a AC or not, I have a washing machine or not, I have a microwave or not. Everyone has that. But the bigger point becomes for kids now is what impact I'm creating, or what how it will know me, or am I social enough, or are people around me liking me or not? That's more important to them rather than is my salary 35,000 or 45,000. That's a bigger question for them. When that happens, that eventually leads to ambitions in different directions. For example, now ambition in the direction of YouTube would be more considered. Ambition in the direction of entrepreneur. Ambition in the direction of a job giver. Ambition in the direction of actor would be more, because they're not looking for the 35,000-40,000 salary, because they've already got that from their parents. And now they don't need the AC and TV and everything, because they already have that at their home. What they want is social recognition, fame. How many people know me? Are people, am I creating an impact? Am I loving the work I'm doing? Like, your parents cannot choose that. And that's why they don't look for actors or YouTubers or anything job like that. But today's people will look for that, because they are looking for a different aim altogether for life. But parents cannot look for that aim because the basic survival necessity was not done.
Yeah.
So their job was to done the necessity done. Once the necessity is done, your job now comes to create a better life for your parents. And you can do that with any vehicle you want. YouTuber, actor, entrepreneur, whatever you look on the TV screens, right? So that is where they are going towards. And parents can't go because they didn't have that much foresight.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. When we're saying about vision, okay, I think a lot of vision comes from a mindset. Maybe a lot of our, our generation has a particular vision, but they lack certain kind of mindset. And it has got nothing to do with any kind of education or anything, right? But that mindset matters a lot. right? Today my mindset might be that, oh, I want, that my mindset has always been like a winning mindset, right? Okay, if I do certain kind of stuff, like if I invest in certain things, if I invest my time or money or even energy also, it has to give me certain kind of returns, right? So that is a mindset. But when we talk about vision, right? So vision is always like, okay, how do I want my life in like the next 10 years and the next 20 years? So do you also believe that, yes, the mindset and vision need to be aligned together? Or is like, nahi, wo apni apni jagah par theek hai?
I think it need to be aligned is because to get the vision into reality, you need to have a very, very, very clear vision. Plus very stubbornness to reach over there, right? You need to be very stubborn to reach over there, because if it was that easy, everyone would have accomplished their vision, right? Now, let's articulate vision, right? There's something called as a dream. Out of a dream, a vision comes out. Out of vision, a goal comes out. Out of the goal, milestones comes out, and then your daily task. The problem with people is they're stuck with the dream. Dream is, I want a supercar. That's a dream, right? The dream would come into a vision when you say, I want a Ferrari 408, which looks in this color or that, whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And then it turns to a goal where you're like, I'll have my BMW Z4 grey color convertible in 2 years. That's a goal. Now to get that goal, you simply write what's the price? What's the showroom price? What's the on-road price? Cool. How much the insurance would cost? The total cost? Cool. Would I take a first hand or second hand? First hand. Cool. Now you create a milestone. This. I need this much in my savings account to get this. Cool. Now once you do that, now you know your daily task. Oh, I can do this today, and then this next week, and this next month, and I can achieve that car. Right? But people just have a dream, and they think like, oh, I'm thinking I'll get something with low. That did not happen. Convert that into a vision, and a crystal clear vision. Then you can define it to a goal. 80 lakhs, let's say the car price is 80 lakhs in 2 years. That's your goal now. And to make that goal possible, you create by month and week wise plan, and then you work on that. And that's how you reach over there. And to reach over there, now you need the mindset. Because if you fail after like 3 weeks, forget the car. Forget even Alto, right? Because if you fail after 3 weeks and you do not bounce back or you do not stand up again.
Right.
So because ups and downs will come. But if you keep on consistently going towards a vision, it would come into a reality very soon. And always remember, success is exponential, not linear. So it's not like, oh, first month I've saved 8 lakhs, now second month 8 lakhs, then third month 8 lakhs. So in 10 months, 80 lakhs. No. It will be like 10,000 the first month, 20,000 next month, but then 40, then 80, then 160, then 320, and eventually you reach 80 after 10 months.
Correct.
So that is how it happens. But most people quit when they're 20, 30 because they think this is how I would not reach over there, and they change the plan. It's again a problem. So once you have the goal set, just stick to the goal and the vision, and now you're in the mindset to reach over there fast enough.
So we have spoken about like vision, we have spoken about mindset, we have spoken about ambitions also. In these 7-8 years, throughout your journey, has your mindset changed and has your ambition evolved over the period of time, or it has been like constant? Because nothing starts without having an ambition, right? Unless and until a rich person today, the wealthiest people today, unless and until अगर उन्होंने कभी ऐसा सोचा होगा कि हाँ ये मेरा ambition है life में करने के लिए, अगर वो thought ही नहीं आया होता तो आज ये सब चीज़ें हुई ही ना होती, right? So has it changed for you over the period of time, like the real Himanshu Agrawal?
I think mindset is a state, right? If you talk about the mindset has not changed, but the beliefs that created that mindset have definitely changed.
Okay.
So the mindset from the start was winning, right? It was like, there's no plan B, I need to figure this out. That was the mindset, right?
Yes.
But if you talk about the beliefs have changed a lot, right?
Like what?
So, for example, a belief regarding money, which is like, why would people pay me a lot of money? Belief problem.
Yeah.
Right? Why would a 40-year-old dude who's a director of a company would learn from me? Belief again. Why would 400 people show up in my seminar? Belief. Why would 3,000 people show up in a Zoom call? Belief. These are beliefs that are holding you back. So these beliefs have changed with time, but the mindset has always been the same from the start, right? Which is like, I need to win at any other cost. And the beliefs part have evolved, have become better and better, and I've never reached to a black and white situation. I'm always in the grey and I'm looking for which side is better. Right? And I'm always okay to adapt. If you tell me tomorrow that money is bad, I'm open to listen. If you tell me that money is very good, I'm open to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not on both the sides, right? If you tell me that you should take a dropout, I'm open to listen. If you say me don't take a dropout, I'm open to listen, right? It doesn't go left and right. I'm just telling my opinions, what I've done in life. It doesn't make it wrong and it doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
Just telling out my life, this is what I've done. I'm not done right, I'm not done wrong. I've got this result, I've done this. If you feel going for it, please go. If you don't feel, no problem, follow someone else. Right? So that's what has been my mantra along the line. But if you talk about the mindset wise, it has been the same.
So mindset has been the same, and your ambitions have also been the same, or have they actually evolved?
Ambitions have evolved. So as the beliefs start to broke, as new beliefs start to come, ambitions have definitely changed. For one time it was like, if I make a lakh a month, I'm king of the world. That was the thing.
Yeah.
Right? Today we spend 3 lakhs a day. It's like, that's too less. Right? I need to spend 5 to 6 lakhs a day on ads. Right? That's what the vision is. That's what the ambition is.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, that continuously evolves over time. And I think I have the gear in my hands. I'm not reached to a position where I'm like egoistically hungry about it. I have the gear in my hands. If I want, I can stop the car anywhere I want. I can take it. If I don't want to get to next gear, I would stop it. I'm totally fine. I've created enough wealth that my 2 generations don't need to think about it. Right? So yeah, I can stop the gear anywhere. But also at the same time, I just keep on exploring the potential part, the curiosity part. And I love to work on projects now which are more towards curiosity and not towards money. So for example, international scale. Nobody in India has figured out international scale, 1 or 2 people except at a good level. And that's what my next target is. Right? How do you figure out this international thing? And how do Indian consultants go to US and consult those people rather than US people coming in?
Yeah.
Like Robin Sharma, Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, take any name. They're coming to India teaching us. Why can't we go over and teach? Right? What is faulty in us? That's what the question I'm coming up with right now. And that's not because of money, it's more because of curiosity. How do we crack that market? How do US people think? How do Canada people think? How do Australia people think? That's what I'm figuring out. The same thing I'm figuring out is SaaS. Right? How do you convert yourself into a software? And how do people buy that software? You get out of the equation. So it's more curious driven things, which is like, what's next leap? Not in money, but in my curiosity.
Yeah. There has been a lot of FOMO in terms of vision, in terms of, like, oh, अच्छा मतलब सबको ये आ रहा है, मुझे नहीं आ रहा है, like, it's with every working professional these days, right? People call it imposter syndrome, but it is not an imposter syndrome. It's like having that curious child to be alive, which you have had, which you said, okay, मेरे पास वो curiosity का कीड़ा वो हमेशा alive था, right? Same with me. If I'm not curious for a second also, then I feel like, no, my life is over. That is what makes ambitious people wealthy. That's a process eventually, right? But जैसे these days everywhere it's like, AI है, ये है, वो है. जैसे पहले होता था कि अच्छा नहीं, पहले सिर्फ इंटरनेट न्यू आया था, तो फिर वहाँ पर everyone was like, oh no, this is not safe, we don't know what the future is going to be. After a few years it was YouTube, कि अच्छा, how live streaming is going to be, and it's again not safe, live streaming कैसे कर सकते हैं, ये नहीं वो नहीं, and these days it's AI. I personally feel that if a person is visionary, like you said, first, you need to have that curiosity child alive all the time. But secondly, you need to be willing to learn and adapt new things, right? But do you really feel that AI is taking over everywhere? And क्या ये डर जो लोगों के दिल में बैठ गया है कि अरे नहीं, AI सब खत्म कर देगा या हमारी जॉब खा जाएगा या whatever? Because I feel it's making our lives easier. But there are a few people who don't want to evolve, but yet dream of like a business class travel and this and that and all. So what do you have to say about this?
So I think there are 2 aspects of this. And the best part about this thing is that the cream always comes at the top. So right now ChatGPT comes, right? Prompt engineers would be paid a lot more money. AI tools come, those who knows how to use those AI tools will become better, right? And would be get paid the most amount. So every once in a while, in historic moments, wealth gets redistributed. I'll give you an example. So first of all, there was nothing called social media.
Yeah.
A kid came, Zuckerberg, he's like, let me connect someone else, everyone, technically. And he makes something, and then the wealth gets distributed again, and he accumulates the most wealth. Then with time, something like e-commerce came. Jeff Bezos came in, made Amazon, wealth gets reaccumulated, right? So in every historic moment, wealth is distributed and accumulated by a few people, a lot, and then distributed amongst all the people differently. Now, the advancement of AI is not a new advancement. Advancements like these have already come in history that we have seen. Industry revolution was a bigger thing than this, right? ChatGPT is so fast that today it was launched, tomorrow everyone knows. Industry revolution was not that fast. Then people cope up. Imagine the time when there was no electricity and the electricity invented the next day. How slow would have reached out people?
Yeah.
And how difficult it would be for people to get new jobs or something. But they got new jobs, right? So whenever advancements comes in the society, people go towards more creative jobs. But people who do not go towards more creative jobs, as they don't have the curious mind, they get waved off. And those are the people who are afraid right now, who are, panicking about AI. But the people who are curious are more excited. They're like, wow, this ChatGPT thing came, I'm trying to figure it out. Let's see what happens next year. And they're excited for it. And there's some people who are panicking because of ChatGPT, right? There are two mindsets again. The one is the curious one who's like, let me become a prompt engineer and understand how I can use this in my copywriting. But other side, there's a copywriter who's like panicking, ChatGPT has come, let me change my career or let me change something, right? Both are right on their place. It's just that how you're looking at the problem. It's a perspective on how you see the problem. So yes, AI here to take your job. But if you're creative enough, you can save it easily. Not save, but make 10 times of that amount that you're making right.
So do you really think that, okay, chalo, there are people who are like very adaptive and stuff like that. And like I also said that every ambitious person wants to be wealthy or eventually becomes wealthy, right? But aisa zaruri nahi hai. Like ambition for you might be different, ambition for me might be different, right? So do you have a take on that? Like, do you feel that ambition is equal to wealth and that is what everyone should have a particular goal for? That, oh no, I want to have this kind of lifestyle and that kind of lifestyle, and कुछ लोगों के लिए वैसे नहीं होता है, right? So what's your take on, or maybe probably I should ask, like, what's your definition of ambition in terms of that?
I would say that ambition is not only for wealth, it's for multiple things. It can be ambition of this is how I want to look. It can be ambition of this is what I want to get. It can be ambition of wealth as well. It can be ambition of I want my life to look like this, whatever, right? So it can be in multiple criteria. Ambition, it obviously doesn't just includes wealth. There are multiple aspects to ambition. Plus, you need to also understand how you define ambition for yourself, right? If you say that you're an ambitious person, ambition simply means that you will not understand the difference between wrong and right to get the thing that you want, which I think is wrong, right? If you have your ethics, if you don't have, super cool. But if you have your ethics on place, you say, I'm not an ambitious person. I'm a very goal-oriented person. I'm a workaholic. I would say all these words. But I wouldn't say I'm an ambitious person, because an ambitious person never understands the difference between right and wrong, but would do everything to get to his place that he wants, right?
Yeah.
I may be wrong in this, but that's what my definition of ambition is, which is, I think, wrong and not on point for someone to live their life with. No, because just for a mere number on your screen or some mere achievements that would boost your ego, you're trying to wave off everything in life and not be happy in the long term, right? So, yeah, ambition is important, but you need to know what are your boundaries of ambition and how you're playing with it.
Correct. You are also a huge advocate of learning sales, and you teach sales, and you have studied mind of the various people and stuff like. But there are a few people, like we had discussed earlier also, who sit and contemplate and who are not too confident, or who don't like sales at all. Like they feel that this is the next to impossible thing on earth, because it's just not their tea. So what do you think that what is that one quality that they need to imbibe within themselves?
I would say the answer of this is to change your perception of selling from manipulation to service. The reason you don't like sales is because you feel that you're manipulating someone to take a decision, because you have said them something, some words, magical words, to do which they are manipulated and they're taking a decision. But that's actually wrong. Think of a scenario. Your mother is lying down because of some poison, let's say, in the body, right? There's a guard standing in front of you. You cannot beat the guard down. You cannot do anything like that, right? But you have that medicine which can cure her. You know that it would work. You're trying to go off the guard, but the guard is continuously stopping you. Now you have to convince the guard to save your mother. Are you selling in? Yes. Right? But are you selling with the intention of manipulation, or you're selling with the intention of servicing? That's what matters. If that side was there's a gold pot or something, maybe you would have quit after some point, right? Because that's not service that you're looking for. That's manipulation to acquire something.
Yes.
That's a wrong perception of sales.
Yes.
But when you have the perception of sales towards service, which is like, hey, this is something that would help that person. And if you're in between, I need to talk to you and convince you or manipulate you to get out of way so that I can service that person, then I don't think that's sales, right? If Amitabh Bachchan comes on the ad and we like, take this polio drop for your kid,
Yeah.
he screams, or if he laughs, or if he does anything in the world, I think he's doing a good work because he's doing a service to the parent, because the parent is not educated and the kid's life is in danger, right? So he's doing a good manipulation. So if you do take sales in the perspective of manipulation, that's wrong. You need to change the relation from manipulation to service. And that's how you'll automatically become better, because your relation is improved with the particular subject.
That's a good one. I must say that was very well put. Okay. One last thing. What is your core message to the youth who are seeking an ambition similar like you, or who dream to be like you one day, or probably who just want to leave everything and start working? What's your message to the youth?
Take risk with speed.
Okay.
As many risks as possible at as much speed as possible. And because you just want one shot, right?
Yeah.
It's about like, if you play, like, let's say there are like 100 buttons. One button will make the light on. And if the light is on, we'll never go back. You know that. Press as much as you can. As simple.
Very fast, learn fast.
As fast as you can. Just keep on putting your hand on the buttons and keep on like pressing the switchboard till you get the light on. Because once the light is on, you don't need to press anymore and you can chill off, right? So as fast as you understand that, just keep on pressing buttons. I know first 10, first 20, first 30 would fail.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. Who cares? Because think like this. If you would know that 28th number is where you'll win. If you definitely know that, that's a number you'll win.
Yeah.
How fast did you fail to get 28th? Right? That's
Cool.
what you need to think about it. So remember that 100 is your game. When I started playing, I was like, 95% of startups in India fail. I have the worst luck in the world, let's say.
Yeah.
95th is my number. 95 will become successful, I know this. Because 95% fail, cool. I need to be the 96th and I'll win the game.
Correct.
And the only thing was, unless I build 96 businesses, ideas, MVPs, I'll keep on going. I got lucky at second or third. That's it. The first business of photography business. Right? Then again, 3, 4 failed, then the small business. Then 3, 4 failed, then a hit. Then 3, 4 failed, then a hit. And then you hit a big one. So I think this would be mine, what? 19, 20, and got a big hit. And now I don't need to work for life.
Well, that's amazing, Himanshu. Now coming to the last segment, which is a rapid fire. Okay, I'll ask you a few questions and let's see how you... We don't have a hamper though, but yeah, we can gift you something. Okay, if you were left on an island with a choice to carry any 3 things, what would that be?
A chessboard.
Okay.
I think now I cannot take a human or something, right? Or I can.
You can.
A chessboard, my family, and a mobile phone, which has internet connection.
The island doesn't have an internet connection.
Then I'm okay with 2, a chessboard and my family, that's it.
That's it? Okay. So all the audience who doesn't know this side of Himanshu, this rapid fire is actually going to bring out a lot more of real Himanshu. Okay. Fast cars or big mansion villas?
Fast cars.
Okay. Family vacation or a yacht party with fellow mentors?
Yacht party.
Okay. Because you recently had one, yeah. Okay. One person or entrepreneur or a leader you would want to know more about?
Naval Ravikant.
Naval Ravikant. And why?
He's sorted on every aspect. Well, health, relationships, spirituality, every aspect. I mean, looks like a very solid person. I've not met him in real life. The books I've read, the tweets I've read, the podcasts I've heard, the videos I've seen of him.
Yeah.
What I'm able to grasp, I want to meet that person and understand more things. I have questions that I want to ask.
Okay. Cool. Goals should be short term, like 2 years, or long term?
Vision should be long term. Goals should always be like months, not even years.
Okay.
Goals is like next 3 months what? Next 2 months what? Next week what? Vision should be always long term, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years.
Okay. Subscription based business model or freemium based business model? What do you vouch for?
A subscription is an extension of freemium. So if you don't have the capacity to charge, go with freemium. If you have the capacity to charge, go with subscription. In my case, I would go with subscription.
Okay. Cool. A brand or a company you envy or are in totally love with?
So there are multiple companies that I look for multiple things. If I look for talent, I'll look for Tesla and SpaceX because they're very bright people. They're the people who are in the like innovators side, early adopters. So I would love to see the team side over there. If you like to go for branding and everything, Apple is doing a good work. In India, Fred is doing a wonderful job of building a good brand, community-based something. If you would look for revenue and profits, Zero the Zoho, nobody can beat. So yeah, different companies are having different content tools.
Different sectors, yeah.
So I look for the pros side of each company. I'd like to build like that.
Okay. One last question, the most interesting one: ambition or love?
I think I love my work, so I'll go with not the word ambition, but work.
Okay, but the question was ambition or love. Like love, which involves a person, not like love for work.
I'll go for ambition.
You go for ambition, and why? Why would you not choose love?
So my mother taught this concept, which is like you have your inner circle and you have your outer circle, right? Outer circle are people that you don't know, strangers. Inner circle is people you know, you love, you care about.
Yeah.
Some people are built to serve the outer circle. If you ask a army officer right now, this country or your wife, you would just say this country without a doubt.
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's because that is his duty and he has understood from the core of his heart that this is his purpose. And from the core of my heart, I've understood it because I have got the strengths, I've been lucky enough, I have got the brain to serve the society in a better way and make this world a better place. So I'll go with that mission because I can sacrifice my life to make 10,000 better. That's right.
That was great.
Oh wait, have you subscribed to my channel yet? Subscribe now.